Story 1. Am I the asshole for buying a $50,000 guitar for $4,000 and refusing to sell it back when the buyer found out the real value? This happened a while back. My wife and I still talk about it every once in a while. She's on my side, and most of our friends and family are. However, when it happened, it was like WW3 between us and her coworkers and others. Here we go. I've been playing the guitar for 22 years. I know guitar values and whatnot very well. I'm very into the guitar market. At my wife's old company, she was hanging out with coworkers one day after work, and she mentioned that I play guitar. A coworker who I guess is very popular at work said that his dad passed away, and he was selling his dad's things. His dad had a guitar and asked my wife if I'd be interested in it. My wife texted me, and I said to have him send me the info on the guitar and the price. The next day, he texted me the pictures and price. It was a 1952 Telecaster in mint condition. He had the original receipts, which was crazy. That's how I knew the date. I asked what he wanted for it, and he said he looked up Telecasters online, and he thinks $4,000 is fair. I texted back, I'll take it for $4,000, and went to pick it up. The guitar had no sentimental value to him at all. Here's the issue at hand. The guitar was worth approximately $50,000 depending on the buyer, and I knew it. When I got the guitar, I told my wife the price and what it was worth. She was floored. Fast forward 2 weeks, her coworker tells my wife he just found out what the guitar was actually worth from a family friend and wanted it back. She said, well, he really likes the guitar, and he knew it was worth $50,000, which is why he was floored. You offered it to him for $4,000. He really likes it, and I doubt he will sell it back, but you can ask. Probably not the smartest thing for her to say, but she was caught off guard, and it's not her fault or problem. He contacted me and asked to buy it back. I said that it's not for sale. He then said I scammed him and he was going to sue me and take my wife to HR for being a part of the scam, which was nuts, but he actually did contact HR. They were cool about it and said it's not their problem. It's between him and me. Over the next few months, he made things very uncomfortable for my wife at work. He would bug her constantly about it. She eventually had to go to HR for harassment, and they actually let him go. She complained twice, and he was warned and didn't stop. He's contacted me several times about it, so I got a restraining order for harassment too. I blocked him too. I haven't heard from him in about a year. Am I the asshole? Update. Well, this post blew up way beyond what I was expecting. It looks like I was voted not the asshole. There's over 5,000 comments. I couldn't read them all, but I did read a lot. Just to clear up some things. I left some things out because I didn't want it to influence opinions and really wanted it to be about me buying a guitar at significantly lower market value than the people in the story. I did include the fact that the guy was harassing my wife at work, not to make the guy sound bad, but because I thought it was relevant to the story. Here's some specific details I chose not to include. The guy and his dad were not close at all. So those people saying he was grieving and I took advantage of him, that is 100% not the case. When I went to get the guitar, he was telling me he hadn't talked to his dad in 6 years and was actually annoyed he had to deal with a funeral. The dad bought the guitar new and never played it. Luckily, it was stored in a closet and not in a basement or attic. There's no issue with the wood or electronics. It plays like a dream and I couldn't be happier. I am not selling the guitar to the son or anyone. It will be with me for a long time. I'm in my 30s, so maybe in 30 years, it will find a new home. I would have maybe considered giving the guy more money or giving him one of my guitars to sell on his own, but I decided not to do that after he left a terrible voicemail on my phone the day he found out the real value. He demanded it back like he was entitled to an object he sold fair and square, called me a POS, called my wife a POS, and said he would do bad things if I didn't sell him the guitar back. And to those people who say they would have told the guy the real value, that's a load of horse shit. If you went to a garage sale or estate sale and saw an item worth $5,000, priced at $50, there's not a snowball's chance in hell. You would walk up to the homeowner and tell them they mispriced it. You'd buy the item and then tell all your friends and family what a great score you got. Don't even kid yourself, like you wouldn't do that. I don't feel bad about buying an awesome guitar at a steal of a price. I was curious what others would think, and it looks like I'm not the asshole. So thank you, Reddit. I can play the guitar with zero guilt now. Not like I felt guilty before, but now my feelings are justified. Story 2. Am I the asshole for threatening my stepsister with legal action over a guitar? I, 21 female, had gotten a guitar for my birthday 8 years ago from my grandmother, which came with a small amp and some learning discs. My grandmother and I were extremely close. She practically raised me. But unfortunately, she ended up passing away from leukemia when I was 14. I received nothing except a plant and 9 of her t-shirts after the funeral. Well, 2 years ago, my stepsister, 24, female, came into town from 2 states away to help my family move. During this time, I had moved most of my things to my boyfriend's parents' house. While I was at work, she had asked my mother if she could take the guitar back to her home state to learn how to play. My mother agreed since I played it, and it was sitting there collecting dust. but told her to ask me since it was mine. Obviously, I said no, but my mother insisted I let her learn since she has nothing better to do. This sister has torn up so many items of mine in the past. I was told to get over it, and my mother gave her permission, and she took the guitar anyway. I went to collect the rest of my things from my mother's old house, and the guitar, discs, and amp were kept from me. My mother told me to let it go because she's my sister and promised nothing bad will happen to it. I told her I wanted it back after 3 months, since she would be coming back through our town to give my mom her dog back. She agreed, and we all went our separate ways. Well, that day never came. She never came back into town, and I've been asking for the past 3 years for my guitar back. I messaged her several times offering to drive to her state to get it and my mother's dog, which she was refusing to give back. I was told that it was never a good time for me to come out because she assured me I would get my guitar back. I even offered to pay her for the time it took and pay for all the shipping costs to get it shipped to me. She ignored my messages and eventually just blocked me on all forms of contact. I tried going through my mother to get it back, but she told me to let it go and plan on never seeing it again. She finally unblocked me a week ago. I was pulled into a FaceTime group with her and my other sister today, and I asked if she still had it, and if so, if I could get it back. She smirked at me and said, "Oh, that. It got pawned." I could feel my heart fall out of my chest when she said this. I asked her why, and she responded with dope money for her mother-in-law. I blew up on her and started yelling that I would take her or the MIL to court or file a police report for theft, since she pawned it. She hung up on me and said that I was going to get her kicked out of her mother-in-law's house for making the threats. I called my grandfather and got the total amount the guitar was worth and told her she either paid it or I would assume legal action. My dad is completely on my side, and so is my boyfriend. On the other hand, my mom and her husband are calling me an asshole. So, am I the asshole? Update. First off, thank you all so much for your kind words and advice. As many of you said, the statute of limitations is done on the guitar, so I faked it till I made it. I told my stepsister that I filed a police report for theft of my guitar, as well as false declaration of ownership and selling stolen property to a pawn shop. Those two I was actually able to do. I told her, unless she paid for the total sum of the guitar, I would proceed with my charges and sue for the guitar cost, emotional damages, my lawyer costs, and all my court fees. That was sent to both her and the mother-in-law. I also sent my mother a message letting her know I'd go after her for conspiracy to theft, and she decided to blow my phone up asking about the Reddit post, as well as calling me names. I muted her, and she decided to do the same for my little brother's phone and Facebook for almost 2 hours. The stepsister blew up on me and sent me an audio recording saying, "I still have your stupid fucking guitar. It's in my storage unit. I only said I pawned it because I wanted to see how you would treat me after all this time. You would literally get me fucking arrested. So, if you want it so bad, you can drive your happy ass up here to get it. Because I'm over it and I'm blocking. You see how much of a sister you are now. I could never over a piece of plastic. I'm currently seeing what I can do legally, since she's still refusing to give it back and admitted to having it. I got her phone number from my other stepsister, 21, female, and sent her a text. I once again offered to pay for shipping and the time it took for her to do it. I sent the text to both her and my mother telling them if I had no proof of life on my guitar and it was not in the process of being shipped by this Sunday, I would continue with the charges and lawsuit. The deputy I talked to said I needed written proof that it's mine, which I'm getting from my grandfather, since he helped buy it. My grandfather wanted me to let it go and offered to give me what they got at the pawn shop. I am not taking him up and am going after the stepsister. After everything is said and done, I plan on going to NC with my mother and the rest of the family. I have mounds of stories and so many screenshots of past abuse and situations just like this. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was trying to keep in contact to be able to talk to my little siblings. 3 male, 9 female, 12 male. But I'm going to put myself and my mental health first now. If anyone has advice on how to carry the rest of this battle out, I would greatly appreciate it. Once again, thank you all. Story 3. Am I the asshole for buying my dream guitar? My fiance is threatening to leave me over it. I've been playing guitar since I was about 8 years old. I'm 22 now. It's always been my dream to own a pre-1960s Gibson Les Paul. I just happened to be Googling around and found one literally exactly like I wanted. It's an ebony finish with gold with 3 pickups and gold hardware. It was literally too good to pass up. I mean, once in a lifetime. We'll never find it again. Had to buy it or never have the chance again. I tried to get financing from the dealer, but it just wasn't happening. So I took a credit card that had a 10,000 limit that I'd had since college and bought it. It came one day after shipping, and it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It looks and plays like a dream. My fiancée is furious that I didn't consult with her. In my opinion, our money is our money, and she shouldn't panic. Her take is that I put our financial future at risk for something silly. I'm trying to tell her it's not even a risk since these guitars always go up in value, and it's been my dream. She refuses to see this, and to prove it to her, the music store I bought it from is willing to buy it back for me. But she's mad now that I won't just sell it back, so I shouldn't have said that because I'm never getting rid of this guitar. She is also mad about putting it on a credit card. But to me, that's exactly what credit cards are for, to buy once in a lifetime, things that we can't afford on the spot. She says that's not true at all, so I guess we just have to disagree over this because that will never be how I see it. This isn't a relationship advice post because I'm not selling or getting rid of the guitar, but I want to know I really was an asshole for buying it in the first place. Edit. Guitar is fucking fake. I called them when the dude on here shared the link to see if I could get an appraiser, and they said they've been trying to call me for a few days. I just talked with the music store that sold it to me, and they say an employee mislabeled it and put it online when they shouldn't have. They are refunding my money, including shipping. That was a roller coaster of a day. Wow, nothing lost, I guess.